to Movement Not Miracles. It's a bit of a rainy day today, but not to worry. Movement Not Miracles is all about your opportunity to move through some of those joints that get a bit stiff, particularly if we've been sitting still for long periods. Look after your posture and just keep everything a little bit more mobile, so you can ward off some of those aches and pains. And today, a bit of an all-over movement session, but with an emphasis on some mindful movement. So certainly as well as my body being maybe a little stiffer than it likes to be, my mind is a little busy, so I thought we'd combine the two things and see if we can create a little bit of space to work through our body and just calm our mind. So a nice steady pace this morning, or this afternoon I should say now. We're going to start off with Downward Dog. So you are going to be able to see this, that's fine. So a bit of a favourite of mine, a general all-over, a yoga basic, a general all-over move. So you're going to feel some stretch through the backs of your legs, some elongation through your spine and some movement through your shoulders, staying nice and relaxed throughout. So it is an active posture, so we will be working through our muscles as we go through this. So hands underneath your shoulders, and as you lift up through your legs and hips, push back through your shoulders, and a nice breath out as you lift up those hips. Let your head relax, and just do a couple of nice breaths, not too deep, not too shallow, just be aware of your breathing in and out. And then coming down into child's pose. So toes together, knees apart, and you're going to fold through from your groin area, reaching forwards with your hands and allowing your head to rest down on the floor. If you can't reach the floor with your head, it is better, particularly if we're doing some mindful movement, so you're not concentrating on lifting your head up, if you use a block or something to raise the floor. So you can use a towel or a cushion, something that is comfortable to rest your head on but has got some resistance is quite useful. So as you stretch down, you can rest your forehead onto the block there. If you can move to the floor, then move to the floor. And again, first time through the move, so just relax into it and concentrate on your breathing. A nice breath in and out. I'm going to go straight back into Downward Dog. So up into the move. See if you can concentrate on your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades squeezing together on your back chest. Relax that head, lift up through the hips. And back down to child's pose. Try and keep your bottom on your heels. Fold down from the groin. Pushing with your hands into the floor so that you can get some activity in your upper back, so you should feel your shoulder blades. Relaxing through your body. And once more into downward dog. And as you come up into the pose, just think about what's going on. Where is your attention? Is it in your hands, your shoulders, your feet, your hips? And once more back down to child's pose, feet together, knees apart. Trying to keep your bottom on your heels and gradually roll down into the floor. So, staying kneeling, I'm just going to pay a bit of attention to our feet. So sitting on your heels and just rocking from side to side with your toes tucked under so that you get some stretch through each of your toes. Can't actually feel my little toes on the floor, but the others are. And it's a nice stretch through my big toes, so you should feel a stretch through the base of your foot. Just gently rocking from side to side. And then placing your hands on the floor in front of you, just straightening your legs as far as you can go. Again, letting your head relax. Back down to the floor. It doesn't matter if your heels don't go on the floor, just go as far as you can. Rocking from side to side. When you're in this position, think about where your shoulders are. So notice any tension across the tops of your shoulders. Are your shoulders up by your ears? Do your shoulders feel tense? Are your shoulders back and down? Also, what's happening with your tongue? Is your tongue stuck in the roof of your mouth? Your tongue is also a muscle, and it's a good indicator of how tense you're feeling, where, when you are relaxed, where your tongue rests. If it's in the roof of your mouth, then try and relax it down so it sits in the base of your jaw. Hands to the floor and lift up. Let your head relax. And once more. Just rock from side to side. Hands down and reach up. Okay, so you can either do this bit seated in a chair or kneeling on the floor like I am. So again, sitting back, wherever you are, just sit relaxed. However, whilst you are relaxed, I still encourage you to sit nice and tall. So I don't want this to be happening. So sitting nice and tall. So up out of your pelvis. And if you just put your hands across the front of your chest. And again, just before we start, just pay attention to what's happening with your shoulder blades and what's happening with your jaw. Where's your tongue sitting? Encourage your tongue to sit in the base of your mouth. And then we're just going to do some movement through the upper back. So I just want you to think of drawing circles with your shoulders. So you're going all the way around, down, and trying to get as much movement as you can. There won't be a lot of movement. It just encourages that upper back without overarching. So don't lean too far back and overarch through your lower back as you come back up. And just keep your breathing nice and relaxed, and let's go back the other way. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Okay. So I'm going to finish with a forward bend. So if your lower back causes you any sorts of problems, then do these seated or use support when you are standing. So you can do a standing forward bend using either putting your hands on a window ledge or a work surface, so that you're not taking your full weight forwards. Or you can do them seated. Now, I was going to use my chair, but my cat is fast asleep and I don't want to disturb her, and that sounds really, I don't want to be mean. So I'm going to do them just sitting on the floor. Imagine, I'm going to show you the floor first. Imagine you're sitting in a chair. So if your back is a little bit dodgy, and you can do this sitting in a chair. So what you're aiming for is to bend forwards, so that, actually it's quite nice doing it with your legs crossed because you actually get some stretch through your hips as well. But bend forwards from your groin. Think of pushing your bottom backwards and just rolling down over the front of your body. So if you're sitting in a chair, you'll be able to lay flatter onto your thighs, and that's fine. So we're going to get some stretch through our back, and I just want you to let your head relax. So rest your arms and let your head relax as you sit forwards, thinking of pushing your bottom backwards and just keeping that breathing going. Now if you're doing a standing forward hang, the closer your feet are together, then the more of a stretch you'll get down the back of your legs. So we haven't done much activation of the backs of our legs today, so I'm going to have my feet reasonably apart. My hamstrings are not terrible, but they're not also, they'll need a bit of waking up. So I want you to clasp your hands as if you're folding them, and then lift them up above your head. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you, if you're doing this seated, then reaching forward, you can clasp your hands behind your back so that you can stretch through the front of your shoulder blades. So whichever is most comfortable, but it's useful just to try that one for part of the move. So if we're standing, weight evenly distributed in your left and your right feet, and the outsides of your feet should be parallel, which might look like your toes are pointing in a little bit. Often people have their feet together and their feet are a little bit like that, and I want you to think of the outsides of your feet parallel. So if you imagine there and there, so your toes might feel, it might look like your toes are pointing in a little bit. Think of sucking your kneecaps up towards your hips, so your quads should be active, and that's going to enable a little bit more stretch through the hamstrings. So keeping that work through your quads, arms up overhead, and then you're just going to fold forwards and hang. So try not to let your weight fall backwards. I'm terrible at that. And try and be aware of the weight through your big toe, your little toe, the ball of your foot and your heel. That'll give you an indication of where your weight is centred. Try and stretch through your armpits, so I'm active through my shoulders, and I'm pulling my arms down towards the floor. Legs are straight, pushing my knees open, and just relax your breathing. Ooh, I've got a little bit more movement there.
So you are going to feel a stretch down the back of your legs and hopefully into the base of your back. You've got some movement, some work through your shoulders. And again, what's happening with that head and that jaw? Make sure your jaw is relaxed, tongue relaxed in the base of your mouth. And just breathe. Pay attention to your breathing. And then let your hands go to the floor. And gradually, really slowly, uncurl through your spine and slowly stand up. Okay, so that was a mindful movement today. You can, with practice, be working through your body and work to quieten your mind. It does take some practice and I'm not always brilliant at it, but being aware of what's going on in your body can help just focus your mind, which if it's all getting a bit busy is a good thing to be aware of. So don't forget to check out the website www.eatmovebehappy.com for other ideas on how to look after your health and well-being, how to shift your eating and exercise habits so that you feel healthier and happier and you can do the things you want to be able to do more of the time. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday and I will see you tomorrow.